Okay, this is another one from Passport 2. Please click like, share, and subscribe for them, as well as like, share, and subscribe for Scott Dova's Interesting World. What living in Germany really is like. Well, I can only speak on the 11 days that I was there, and I actually found it quite pleasant, quite interesting, and quite different in a very positive way. But let's see what it's like to actually buy a place and actually stay there via Passport 2.
Can we experience the world through AI, and can it tell us about human experiences when we can't experience them for ourselves?
I'm not sure you can do it that way. I'm not sure it works that way.
Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. I am Donnie, and along with my wife Aubrey, we are two Americans currently living in Germany with our baby, sharing all of our experiences living and traveling throughout Europe. We've all been hearing a lot about AI and specifically ChatGPT lately. I hear a lot of different things about
I really haven't heard I've heard some about it, but I haven't heard a whole lot about it.
how this is threatening jobs, how amazing it is, how you can ask it anything and it will give you brilliant answers, or at least answers. Now, I make a living online sharing my experiences as an American living in Germany to those that maybe wonder what it is like to live in Germany, or to Germans that are interested in knowing maybe what that experience is like for someone who finds their country and culture foreign. So
Yeah, that's kind of why I've basically centered on Germany for the most of my videos in the recent couple of months, and the reason I've done that is because I've been there. I have some experience with the Germans and the German people, and it's so fascinating. It's still fascinating. I'm still learning. I'm learning a whole lot from you guys, and I appreciate it.
wondered, will AI maybe become a thing that could even, I don't know, replace people like me online? Can people use AI to find out what it is like living in Germany from an American perspective, or could it even give them that experience as if they are living there and experiencing a different culture themselves?
The question, I don't really think so. Okay, to be fair, I think even if you had an AI that you can put on that transports you to, what a place I'm at, Frankfurt. Okay, I'm at the Le Méridien Hotel. I know when I walk out of the hotel, if I make a right, I can go around the corner, right in front of the Irish pub, or close to the Irish pub, and go down. At least it's still there in 2006. Go down the stairs under the highway and go end up in the train station. And AI is not going to give me that feeling of waking up in Germany, walking in Frankfurt, and going to the train station with the people. It just doesn't. It's not the same thing.
Or maybe I just wondered if ChatGPT can lighten my workload and write scripts for videos for me. Well, to answer my questions and to have my curiosity quenched, I asked ChatGPT to write a script of a video about culture shocks experienced by Americans living in Germany to see just how accurate it was compared to my personal, real, human experiences as an American living in Germany. So, the next segment of this video is going to be all written by AI, accompanied by my reaction to it to let you know just how accurate ChatGPT got it. And that's exactly what ChatGPT and I am going to talk about today in our video. From Berlin to the Bay, a clash of cultural ways.
Okay, I can see the Berlin part because Berlin's in Germany, but he's on the other side of the country. He's from Oklahoma. What bay is he talking about? Okay.
Living in a foreign country can be an exciting and transformative experience.
And just so you know, I do have some experience living in a foreign country. Okay, my first experiences of my life were living in Bermuda. That's where I was. Bermuda's an island, about 20 miles long, 700 miles off the coast of the United States. But it is not one of the 50 states. Okay, I think it's co-owned by Britain. And I remember seeing the Queen. My first memories are of Bermuda.
Today, we're going to explore what it's like for an American to live in Germany. Germany is a country with a rich history, vibrant culture, and a strong economy. But what's it like for someone from America to call it home? Hi, I'm Emily. I'm from the United States, and I've been living in Germany for the past
Gee, Emily, for a woman, you have a hell of a beard.
2 years. What the heck?
Hi, I'm Emily from the United States. I've lived in Germany for the past 2 years. Narrator, Emily, thanks for joining us. What's it been like living for you in Germany? It's been a great experience. There are definitely some challenges, but overall, I'm really happy here. Oh, okay.
No, let's try a different script. Moving to a new country can be an exciting yet overwhelming experience, especially when it comes to adjusting to a new culture. For Americans moving to Germany, there are a few cultural differences that may come as a surprise. Here are the top 5 culture shocks for Americans living in Germany. Grocery shopping in Germany can be quite the experience. One of the first things Americans might notice is that...
And I've seen that from both sides. There's another video that I reacted to, Dean and Phil, where Phil, who's from Germany, goes into a like a Target or a Costco for the first time and sees what it's like there, and like they don't have. I don't believe they have things like that in Germany.
Plastic bags aren't typically offered at checkout. Instead, customers bring their own bags or purchase reusable ones.
And they do that in the United States as well. I mean, I've seen videos where people talk about how the United States. If I go to a Giant Eagle, which is a grocery store, and which I frequent, you can bring in your own bag. You can buy your own reusable bag. It's up to you. And they don't offer plastic bags anymore. They offer paper bags, which are very, very brittle.
Additionally, most grocery stores charge a deposit for the use of a shopping cart. So don't forget to bring a €1 coin or risk having to carry your groceries out by hand.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. In the United States, you don't have to worry about that. You just take the cart and you don't have to put €1 in there. It's not a deposit. You're not going to take it home with you. It's just not done that way.
First section, grocery stores. I think it nailed it in the fact that grocery stores are definitely a classic thing that Americans are shocked by whenever they come to Germany. However, I agree with some of the things that this AI picked up on in terms of our culture shocks, but there was some of the more important things that it left out. Definitely in the US, you're always given plastic bags or paper bags. It didn't mention the paper bags. A lot of places you get the choice, and it does nail that you do not have to bring reusable bags in most places in the U.S. There are a lot of places in the U.S. where they have banned these.
Yeah, he's got a list here. Grain, plastic bags banned, and it's of no surprise the states that are up there. Charge on some plastic bags, I don't see any of those, and partial charge or ban municipality, which is basically the local group, and Ohio's there. Now, like I said, Ohio, like the Giant Eagle I go to, no longer uses plastic bags.
And you do have to bring reusable bags. So that's not true for every American, but definitely in Germany we did have to get used to bringing reusable bags because we come from a place that typically uses plastic bags. So that was a little bit of a culture shock, but got used to it fairly quickly. And another thing that this talks about is the deposit for a shopping cart. I think that's...
And again, that's nothing we don't have to worry about in the United States. We don't have to put €1 in for a bag. Now, if I was over in Germany, I was living over in Germany, it's something I just have to get used to because I know you get the euro back. I'm kind of curious as to why they think they need to do that. Would people actually steal a grocery cart and take it home with them? Because, like I said, in the United States, if I shop and I fill up my cart, and I can push that cart out to the parking area and load up my car with groceries, but then there's like a cart carousel where I can put it there where they'll come and collect those and bring them back in. I have no desire to steal the cart from the grocery store that I go to.
It's a little bit misleading in how the AI perceives it or is describing it, at least, because you're not really giving a deposit for the shopping cart. The coin more so is just like a key to get a shopping cart, and this is, I guess, to encourage people.
Okay, I guess I still don't see the necessary the function of it, of giving a euro just to unlock a key, why it would be locked in the first place. But again, like I said, that's what I'm learning. Okay, I'm an American. We don't do things like that, but you do in Germany. It's nice to know.
People to return the carts when they're done with it, and that's kind of why in the U.S. you often have parking lots of grocery stores or shopping centers with kind of grocery carts in random places across the parking lot.
You really don't. A lot of people bring those back to the carousel. Okay, there's like or not carousel, but there's like a lot, and they're all over the place, and you can easily find them. Okay, it depends on I whenever I park, I'm mindful that I'm close to the place where you can put the carts back, and they're always coming to collect them. So no, it's not like they're all over the place. Now I don't know what they're like in Oklahoma, but certainly not in Ohio.
Because people, rather than being bothered to return the cart, they just kind of leave them where they loaded up their groceries, and then it becomes somebody's job at the grocery store to go and collect all the shopping carts. But there are some stores in the U.S., like Aldi has moved into the U.S., and they do have this system. So some Americans are starting to kind of get used to this idea of having to use a coin to get...
Now, I do have Aldi in the United States, in Ohio, where I'm at, but I've never used Aldi, gone up there and I don't know, they charge a quarter or something like that. People don't carry coins around in the United States anymore, at least not on a regular basis. They usually carry, and maybe they have them set up for cards. I don't know. Maybe they do. I don't know.
The carts. I think the thing that AI missed in this section primarily is the one thing that Americans always talk about, and that is the speed of the checkout lines. German grocery stores being way faster and not having somebody bag for you versus in the US where, like I just recently talked about in a reverse culture shocks video, it's way slower and you do have somebody bagging your groceries for you.
Actually, in the United States, I don't know how I didn't go through. I get through a couple checkout lines, but not with big things, so I didn't see how fast the Germans move. But in the United States, they also have self-checkout places, so you can actually go and do it yourself at the speed you wish to do it at and bag it yourself. And I that's what I do all the time. I very rarely go to a checkout person and let them do it for me.
You generally speaking. Germans are known for their love of rules and order. One example of this is the concept of quiet hours. Typically, these hours are between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m., during which loud noises or
unless we're talking the World Cup 2006 and Germany just won a game against Poland, they did not have quiet hours between that time period.
Music are discouraged. So if you're used to blasting your music at all hours of the night, you might have to adjust your habits. I don't necessarily think that it's the fact that being quiet at night is the shock, because generally speaking in the US also, you have to kind of keep it quiet in the night, and if you are having some kind of loud party, it's not uncommon for like neighbors to call the cops to come and tell you to quiet down. And I think that ChatGPT focused on the nighttime quiet hours, when I think the more shocking aspect for Americans are the quiet on Sundays in Germany and not being able to do things like vacuuming if you live in an apartment building and it might disturb others' peace, or lawn mowing. You can't do lawn mowing on Sunday because it causes...
That would have driven my dad crazy. My dad loved his lawn, and he loved to mow his lawn. Sometimes he'd do it on Saturday, sometimes he'd do it on Sunday. And if you said you can't mow your lawn, you'd be like, why not? Because it's Sunday, it's quiet time. He goes, you can be quiet if you want. I'm going to mow my lawn. Yeah, that's different.
Causes too much noise or different things like that. And that is a bigger shock for me than the nighttime. And also, Aubrey and I really aren't, I guess, party animals, so nighttime quiet is not a...
Well, you just had a kid. To the best of my knowledge, your partying days are now over. Or your partying days are just ahead of you, and they are once a year, and you wear funny hats, and you act like a crazy person in front of your kid. Those are the party with balloons and cake. Those are the parties that are ahead of you now.
Big deal for us. Quick, I wanted to remind you guys that a link to our merch shop is in the description below, and I also wanted to give a big shout out to our patrons for supporting our channel. I'm so appreciative of you all, and if you guys would like to know more ways that you can support our channel, a link to our Patreon is in the description below, but also hitting that like and subscribe button goes a super long way, so thanks so much for doing that.
Now, I usually edit that part out of the video, but I'm going to keep it in this time because, like I said, I think you should... especially if you enjoy these videos that I do, see the actual original content by Passport 2. They're really good. They do a great job. And like, share, and subscribe for them, as well as like, share, and subscribe for me as well. For Scott Dover's Interesting World, I really would appreciate it.
In the U.S., it's customary to tip your waiter or waitress. This isn't necessarily the case in Germany.
Again, this is another thing that I've seen in videos and things, is about the tipping culture in the United States versus Europe in general. Is that in the United States, you are expected to tip. Okay, whatever, I mean, like grocery stores, if it says, in the United States, if it says $1.99, and you go up there, it's like $2.34 because of the tax that is not listed there. That's a culture shock. But one of the things is, if I go to a restaurant and I sit down and they serve me food, okay, they will come back. They will make sure everything is hunky and dory. And when all is said and done, I'm expected to leave with a 15-20% tip. Okay, that's what is expected of me. Okay, even if I had the worst service in the world, I'm still expected to leave something behind for that individual.
Tipping is appreciated, but it's not mandatory. In fact, service charges are often included in the bill, so make sure to check before leaving an additional tip. Tipping is such an awkward thing for me in Germany because of exactly what it's saying. We're super used to tipping in the US, and it's just very common that 15% generally is going to be the minimum that you leave for a tip, but you can go up from there. But in Germany, tipping isn't mandatory, but it's commonly done. But if you do tip, typically you're just kind of rounding up. So for example, if your bill is like
$19.14, you'd round up to 20.
Euro 80 cents, you would just pay €2, and that 20 cents would kind of be the extra tip. But also, like, if you don't do that, like 10% is kind of like as high as you would normally go. But still, I think it is so ingrained in me that it feels so wrong and awkward to not do that in Germany. And so I often find myself questioning, am I doing the right thing by either not leaving a tip or only tipping like maximum 10%? However, one thing that ChatGPT mentioned in this section was that service charges are typically added to the bills in Germany, so you might want to check that before tipping. And I'll ask you guys, is that true? I honestly, like, when I'm thinking about all the bills I've ever had in Germany, maybe I've had a service charge added to a bill. I can't even think of a time. So I don't know if that's actually true. So let me know in the comments. 1, do you tip? How much do you tip? In what situations would you not tip? And
see, if I was in Germany and let's just say for argument's sake, my bill was 15 euros. Okay, it's 15 euros for my meal. Okay. Now, here's a couple things, okay? I would probably, if whatever I got to drink, I know it usually comes without ice. At least that's what it came with. In the United States, it always comes with ice. You don't have free refills. Like, if I want another drink or the Coke, if I drink all the way down, I'm going to need another one, and I'm going to have to pay for the other one. Okay, you don't get free refills. That's something I'm used to in the United States. But if I got a $15 bill, 15 euro bill, I would immediately pay 20% on it, okay? Because I'm used to doing that in the United States, okay? So maybe it's a good thing for. And also, the other thing I hear, waiters are different in Europe. They don't wait on you hand and foot like they do in the United States because they aren't expecting the gratuity. It's not that they're bad people. It's just that it's not expected of them. It's just that's a huge, because in the United States they're going to be all. I don't say they're all over you, not like vultures hanging over you while you eat. But it's like every 5 or 10 minutes, they're going to come back and say, "Hey, is everything okay? You want a refill on your drink? Do you want this? Do you want that?" That's just how it's done.
Also, have you ever seen service charges on a receipt in Germany? I don't know that I have. One of the most noticeable differences is the German approach to punctuality. Germans place a high value on being on time, and being late is considered rude. Whether it's for work or social events, being punctual is...
I had a friend who was like that. Again, in the United States, what it is if I'm saying I'm going to be there at 10 o'clock and I arrive at 10:05, that's not a big deal. Okay, nobody's going to lose any sleep. But I had a friend who I said I'd be there at 8 o'clock, and through no fault of my own, there was a problem with traffic. I scooted around, and by the time I made it through, I made it like at 8:02, and he was already gone. Okay, it was 8 o'clock. You're not there? Out. Okay, He didn't even give me the 5 minute grace period. But yeah, I do have some experience with that from a friend, but yeah, I can understand this.
As expected. So don't be surprised if your German friends arrive exactly on time. This, honestly, I don't think has been a big culture shock for us. And I think for a couple of reasons. One, I don't know that Germans and Americans are actually that different. I do generally think that Americans are maybe not always as punctual as Germans, but also I don't think that I personally, in our personal experiences and interactions with Germans, found Germans to be incredibly punctual. You know, they're not showing up to things super late, but it's not like every single time we've ever hung out with a German, they are always there down to the second on time. But even more so than that, there's the DB issue. And DB, the Deutsche Bahn, the German train system, is notorious, and we've talked about this in videos before, for being late and delayed. And that really gives you a different impression of German punctuality. And I used to take the train every single day to the next city over to go to German classes, and there were so many days that it was either late or just never showed up. And that definitely has kind of, I guess, warped my perspective of German punctuality. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you find German?
Now, to be fair, when I was in Germany, the trains always ran on time. I mean, you could set your watch to it. It was absolutely amazing how I don't know how they did it. I mean, they could make a 4-hour train trip from Frankfurt to Berlin feel like a 2-hour plane train trip. It was really, really good.
Tends to be overly punctual compared to, I guess, Americans or other cultures. Definitely punctual, but just not the extreme I expected. Lastly, Americans might find the German bureaucracy a bit overwhelming. Whether it's applying for a visa, getting a driver's license, or registering for healthcare, there can be a lot of paperwork and processes to follow. It's important to be patient and persistent, and don't be afraid to ask for help when needed. Yes, definitely ChatGPT nailed the German bureaucracy, and that is a classic stereotype of Germany as well. But every time you want to do anything in Germany, definitely there's long lists of rules and processes of doing things the right way. And
I guess there's a part of me that can kind of understand that, especially, you know, make sure we dot our I's, cross our T's. And you see some of like that in the in like the rules, you know, like if you're signing up for something and putting the, you know, disclaimers on those. But yeah, I can see that.
Lots of paperwork and mailing things, and there's very, very few things in which you can get things done quickly and you can get things done efficiently. ChatGPT definitely got it right. That is one of the big culture shocks. While adjusting to a new culture can be challenging, it can also be a rewarding experience. By being open-minded and embracing the differences, Americans living in Germany can gain a new perspective and appreciation of their adoptive home. But at the beginning of this video, ChatGPT wrote that these were the top 5 culture shocks that Americans experience in Germany. I don't think these are the top 5 culture shocks. I think some of these may just be culture shocks. So, can you experience another culture through AI at this point? I don't know. I don't think it nailed it. So you should subscribe and get a real human experience.
I agree. Okay, I look, the culture shock that I got when I was in Germany was getting used to just little things. Okay, for the 11 days that I was there from, I want to say June. We left June 10th, landed on 13th. No, we left on June 11th, landed on the 12th. Was like getting, first of all, getting used to the feel of everything. It just didn't feel right to me at the start. It was just so, you know, I was noticing little differences that you don't see here, that you don't see there. Not actually experiencing, you know, talking with the people and learning from there. You know, not getting ice in my drink. Getting brought on a Kaiser roll instead of an actual hot dog run, things like that. Little intricacies, but you tend to roll with the punches and get things going and see how things actually are, and then you learn to accept them and enjoy them. But yeah, I don't think you can define it from an AI experience.
To see who made it this far into the video, the random question of the week is... do you still use Facebook? Thanks so much for watching this.
The only time I ever use Facebook is occasionally. Facebook used to be a place where you go and find out what people were doing. Now it's just a place where you get like adverts and things like that. There's some videos on there that I like in the video section. Learn how people make things around the world, but that's okay. But hey, please click like, share, and subscribe for Passport 2 as well as Scott Dova's Interesting World. This was interesting, and this was probably one of my favorite videos, just because going about the differences and things like that, which I really, really enjoy doing. Thanks for watching.